And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. I'm John. With me, as always, Tyler.
Holy cow, you nailed it.
Yeah, I nailed it.
Yeah.
That was hilarious last week.
I thought the opening last week was hilarious, and if anyone hasn't listened to it, you should. How long, did you practice at all this week? So it just came back to you.
I was about to okay, I got to nail it next week. And then I was like, fuck that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm JP. In your head. Just going to get in my head. The problem last week was I was just totally zoned. Yeah. And then the music started. I was like, all right, yeah. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to do something.
That's my role.
I feel like we didn't record for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But you feel like you do something 90 times.
This will be 97.
Yeah, you should be able to nail it, but whatever. I don't care.
We're getting there. I think July will be the 100th. Of course, you're out next week or something?
No, at the end of the month.
End of the month? Okay.
For 2 weeks.
And you're gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we're going to do.
Yeah, we got to figure something out.
We're going to figure it out.
Okay.
We're going to put our brains together.
What's going on?
2 brains better than 1, right?
Usually.
I feel like that's not always the case, though, because if 2 people have bad ideas, it kind of scales.
What if they have conflicting ideas?
Then you probably are so if one... Well, are we assuming one person's right, one person's wrong?
I don't know. What is right and wrong?
2 plus 2 is 4, that's right. 2 plus 2 is 3 is wrong.
Sure.
I mean, you can... That's a true statement.
Well, I still don't believe in math, but that's a whole other...
You don't believe in math?
No.
Can we dive into that a little bit?
It's just... I feel
like scam?
People, yeah. Okay. What do you really need math for? When you really think about it.
If I have 2 apples...
Yeah.
And I bought 2 apples...
Yeah.
How many apples do I have?
You have 4 apples.
Okay. How do we describe that?
I got more apples. I got more apples.
Okay. Interesting. So in your world, nothing is there's no...
The only 2 things I hate in my world are math and trees.
Okay.
I think is well documented over the 97 episodes of our podcast.
No, yeah, you are weak to tree.
Also Elden Ring, but and the Batman. So all of those 4 things, those are my 4 main pillars of hatred.
You need one more just to make it a nice top 5 thematic for the show.
Top 5 things I hate the most.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto's got to be up there.
No. No. Let's really relax a little bit here.
All right.
What if you? I'm trying to think too now.
Nazis, maybe.
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's a free bingo.
Yeah. Well, that's my 5th. I mean, you only need 4 pillars, and you hold up a roof, right? Depending on how big the roof is, I guess you need the middle pillar. I don't know what we're talking about right now, but that's the kind of...
You absolutely need a middle pillar, right?
5 pillars is a lot of pillars, man.
Well, do you want your house to fall down?
I don't want pillars in my house. That's just a weird... I'm a modern...
Yeah.
Deco...
Keep going.
Deco modern...
Yeah?
Aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, you and me both.
I hate old houses. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
Probably just because I lived in one my whole life. And I'm just saying, I don't...
How long have you lived
here? Here?
Yeah.
In the apartment?
Yeah.
We're going on 6 years.
6 years here, and then a couple years at the other apartment.
Yeah.
So you might...
So 6 years here, 3 years at the other apartment, 1 year at the previous one.
Okay, so 10. So you have lived most of your life in an old home.
Yeah.
And then about a third of your life in an
about two-thirds in the old home, third of my life in the...
Old people's home.
An apartment.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's a fair critique, I suppose.
So far, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You get to see my house today. I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. Apparently, you've been talking it up quite a bit, so...
You're going to walk in, you're like, what? What is this?
Yeah. Is it just totally empty?
It's bad. Yeah.
Yikes. How's that going?
We're
getting there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right.
We're still waiting on some stuff.
Yeah. But it's dry.
Yes. especially because the thing I'm worried about now is it's been 80 degrees. So
yeah.
I don't know what that does to a
completely
home.
empty home.
Yeah, because I don't want to put the air conditioning on in there. Why would I? Heat's not going to do anything to it.
God, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well...
it's not obviously you need to put the heat on when it's freezing because you don't want the pipes to freeze and things like that. But when it's hot, people don't have air conditioning.
It's going to catch fire?
Yeah, some people don't have air conditioning. So it's okay, let's just...
Yeah, that's true.
Hot.
It's a great point.
I don't know. What were we talking about? Pillars?
I don't know. I'm kind of an igloo guy. I want to live in an igloo.
Like
See what
like
that's
in
about.
Antarctica, or do you want to do like the mud glues or like the mud igloos?
No, in like the ice,
Yeah, see, I don't know about
in
that.
the frozen
I
tundra.
want those blocks that are like, hey, if you make a house with these blocks, it will just keep you warm when you want to be warm and cold when you want to be cold.
Yeah,
and
like
it's,
in New
the
Mexico.
perfect- Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Why wouldn't you want one of those?
I don't like mud.
But you like the heat. You're like, oh, it's July. Like today is going to be wonderful for you. Like we're gonna.
I do like the heat, but I'm just curious. Like, how does an igloo work? Does it even keep them warm?
It's warmer
Is
than
it-
the cold air blowing on them.
Is the only reason is it made out of ice because that's all they have up there?
I
Is
would
that what's
love
going
to
on?
know what the percentage of people living in igloos are.
It's very low.
Probably.
It's got to be
Yeah.
extremely low, my friend.
Yeah, but I mean,
Someone is though, right? Today, maybe.
I can look it up.
No,
Look
dude.
it up real quick.
This is the fun part where we speculate
We
wildly
speculate. At
about
least
how the world
3%.
works.
Or
3%? Are you out of your mind? That's way too high.
of the people living up there?
Do you know how many? You're talking world or what?
No, I'm not saying 3% of the world population.
I was going to say that's so many
Listen.
people.
No, 3% of the
It's
people
everywhere.
that live in places that make sense to live in an igloo.
Dude, I don't even know. Now my brain's spiraling, dude.
I don't
Just
know.
thinking about this.
You're going into wigwams and teepees.
Does anyone even live up there in the North Pole?
I mean, Santa, like Alaska, people live.
Starting to
live it.
suspect that Santa might be a conspiracy.
You mean not real?
I didn't want to say that, but
Oh,
I'm
well,
questioning what's going
yeah.
on there.
How? Like why?
I started crunching the numbers, which you don't believe in,
Uh-huh.
and something's not adding up.
I think I ruined Santa for one of my cousins.
I hope we don't have any young listeners. Well, first off, I
If
hope we don't.
we shouldn't have young
We
listeners,
shouldn't.
so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, we shouldn't for various other reasons.
For a lot of things, yeah.
But especially that.
I want to say it was like a Christmas dinner or something, and I just mentioned that like Santa's not real, or I thought like my little cousins like automatically knew that.
Yeah. Ruined their
And
life.
I don't think it ruined their life, but
Oh.
I want to say that like one of the sisters knew, and the other one was like, "What?" I mean, obviously, it was years and years and years ago. But
How did you backpedal on that one, or did you just go in?
I don't know if I did.
Yeah, I feel like at that point you're off the cliff. You just
Yeah, it's like, look,
you start nosediving.
give me that knapsack.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. You accept your fate. And you just start explaining why it's impossible for Santa to exist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, time travel.
It could be it.
Time zones, time travel. Santa could do it.
Santa might be Superman if you kind of think about it.
I think it's hard to believe that there is a person that wants to give presents to every kid in the world. I feel like that's harder to believe than the logistics of actually doing it.
No.
Like, I think people are too selfish, and I think kids don't deserve it enough. Because, like, let's be real. Everyone should be on the naughty list. Like, there's nothing that you do through, like, I have yet to meet a kid that's like, oh, yeah, you're good all year round.
I'll
Like,
say, yeah. I mean, in December, those kids shape up real quick.
Yeah, but that to me, that, like,
Some last second. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
well, that's what I mean. So, like, what if Santa is real, but
Yeah.
no one deserves him? So it's very easy.
He's just sitting there.
He goes to that one kid from, like, I don't know, Alaska.
Sure.
Where they can't literally do anything, and he's just in the igloo, and he pops in, says, "Hey, here's what are the kids in Alaska? Here's a piece of ice."
Here's a piece of ice.
You think they
For your
give
igloo.
ice
Here's a
instead
new
of
roof.
coal? Here's a new roof.
Just gives them a block of
Yeah.
ice. That's funny.
Here's some blubber.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What if he is real though? That would be crazy.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
the
I
conspiracy.
think he could be.
No, he can't. Definitely not. Like literally impossible. But what if?
What if there's so few kids? I mean, take all the Jewish kids out, right? So already, I don't know how many, like,
Ready for this theory?
higher percentage than
Ready for
people
this
live
one?
in igloos. Yeah,
This one might expand your consciousness
Okay.
a little bit. Pyramids,
yeah.
gift from Santa Claus.
Pyramids are a gift from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Explain.
Okay. You have ancient Egypt. I actually
Okay.
don't know. Santa Claus is like what? 1800s?
Probably.
What was this
a
origin
little
story
after-
movie?
a little after Egypt.
Jolly Saint Nick or something?
Yeah.
Isn't there like a claymation movie that documents his origin story?
Jack Nicholas.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Jack Nicholas. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. I think there is. Someone correct me. We should be receiving a message from the research department any second. Although I actually don't think the research department is a big Christmas guy, so that might be a little tough for him. Yeah, I don't think so.
He's one of those guys.
Well, dude, we're talking about a guy who had Disney Channel banned from his household when he was a kid.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess that's fair.
I feel like that's an extension.
Christian, like very Christian?
No.
Oh, well, then why is Disney Channel banned?
I think anti-corporate.
Oh, well, I mean, Santa is like the most anti-corporate thing in the world.
No, it's not.
He's free. He's making his own toys.
Yeah, but he's the face. He's the face of.
Wow, he can't help him.
The market.
He can't help that people.
Yes, he can.
Like, you think he gets a cut of all the?
No. Well, if he does, then how is that not corporate? If he
does, I'm saying I don't think he does.
He has to, or else it'd be the biggest lawsuit in the world. Everyone uses his likeness. Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone uses his likeness. I mean, that you're talking about the biggest suit that ever happened on planet Earth.
I'll give you his suit, but it's one of those things like, what does Santa have? He's fat. He has a white beard.
He's immortal.
Well, obviously, you have to be immortal if you're time traveling and jumping around.
Yeah, so I don't know why you're like talking about his weight before the fact that the dude never dies.
Well, it's the likeness.
Seems a little.
That's the point. Is it's the likeness. So like being immortal, you can't tell if he's immortal or not.
Well, that's fair.
Visually, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Well, what are you saying? Anyone could look like that?
Well, I'm saying it's like, can you trademark Santa Claus? Like, can?
But they're using his name. That's the thing. It's you can draw a picture of Santa all day, but as soon as you start saying Santa Claus, which is his legal name,
you see what I'm saying? I think it's Jack
Frost is a different character.
No, Jack Nicholas Claus.
Huh?
Kris Kringle.
Christopher. Didn't he change his name?
Chelsea
we're speaking to Chelsea.
I love that we're talking about Santa Claus
tertiary
when it's going to be 90 degrees today.
Yeah, Christmas in July.
Yeah, which is another marketing thing.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's commercial. I don't know how you can't agree with this right now.
I can't wait for us to finally get into the house.
Yeah,
have video.
Yeah,
and people have to think that we're just smoking a lot of something while we're talking.
Dude,
right?
people talk about this.
Yeah.
We're just putting a spotlight on it. Okay, this is big. This is big Christmas. We're trying to crack the case here.
Yeah.
What do you think's worse, big Christmas or big pharma?
I thought she'd stay and talk with us, but I guess not.
Hey, what's the origin story for Santa Claus? Like the claymation where they... Santa Claus is coming to town? Is that it? That might be it.
That's a song.
And it might be a movie.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. Chelsea's I'm
telling you, it's
Christmas
like it's Kris
guru.
Kringle, and he's a dude.
Yeah.
And then it documents how he became Santa Claus.
Wasn't he a carpenter or something?
Something. He did something.
Yeah. Not Jesus, but like he was...
what if he was Jesus?
Alan...
Has a beard.
Yeah. It's old Jesus.
Immortal.
Old fat Jesus. I feel like we're getting a little sacrilegious here.
It is definitely sacrilegious, but it is an interesting prospect where it's like, you'd probably put on some weight if you live forever, right? I mean, that's just a fact.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think if you live forever, you get shredded.
What am I looking? Yeah. Wait, where's the title?
It's the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie.
No, it's not. No.
It's not the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie.
Yeah, but
that's not the origin of Santa Claus.
No, but find him when he's young, though. Find him when he's young, because it starts when he's like a kid. Remember the song, "Put One Foot in Front of the Other"? That's what that's from.
Buddy, you're barking up the wrong tree.
It's this one. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Is Rudolph?
It does look the same.
So they use the same
I think
claymation.
Yeah. I think it's the same cinematic universe.
I hope this translates well on the pod.
No, none of this does.
The research department is like right here. We got instant feedback. Thanks,
yeah,
babe.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Okay.
It's Santa Claus's origin story.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
All right, tell me what
Santa Claus is real.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Santa Claus is coming around to your town. It's Santa Claus is coming to town, which means there is one town in the entire world that is deserved of Santa Claus and his gift.
Oh, man.
Which means he goes directly to
which city?
That town.
Which town?
Probably not U.S., man. I'm telling you. But, okay, maybe U.S., but like Alaska.
Okay.
I think that it's a short trip.
Have you seen the
Right
movie, by the way?
Back to no, clearly not.
Yeah, I'm going to poke a couple holes in your little theory here if you watch that one, but I enjoy where your brain's
Oh, you
at.
mean the cartoon?
Claymation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's a lot of cartoons that document things that happened.
Yeah, like
Like
Gumby.
Shrek.
Shrek is not claymation.
That wasn't that the Crusades?
what?
Yeah.
Shrek is the Crusades?
Yeah, because they took his swamp and then they fought the bad guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Someone fact check me on that.
I swear we're
There's gotta be, like, a
sober.
historical-
You're drinking coffee. I'm drinking water.
I don't know what you put in this.
Yeah.
Shrek might be the best kid. I was talking about this yesterday to my buddy.
Uh-huh.
He was saying, what was he saying was really good? Madagascar. He's like,
Never seen
dude,
it.
Madagascar's so good. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Madagascar's kind of mid. When it
Yeah.
comes to kids' movies, like you got Shrek, dude.
Yeah.
Would you rather watch Shrek or Madagascar? I mean, let's be honest.
Shrek is
with ourselves.
real good. I'm trying to think of something that I would actually rather kids movie wise. I mean, I don't know. Like, are you saying like not Disney or is everything
Disney
just
counts,
open?
sure.
So you would take Shrek over any Pixar movie?
Well, I was talking about, Shrek came to mind first because Shrek's just baller.
Yeah.
And the reason we started talking about Madagascar is because we were at the bar and someone on the touch tune started playing I Like to Move It, Move It.
Okay.
So it's like Madagascar, right?
I'll take your word for it.
Well, I'm an expert. So I was like, he was like hyping up Madagascar. He was gassing it up like, dude, this is it. And I'm like, no, it's not. I can name like a million better animated kids movies than Madagascar.
A million?
Not a million. It's hyperbole, but I can name quite a few.
Yeah.
You got
Basically,
Shrek.
every
Shrek,
Pixar
first of all.
movie.
Not every. I don't know. There's some not amazing Pixar movies.
Have you seen all the Pixar movies?
Yeah, The Good Dinosaur, not a good movie.
That's crazy. You've seen them all. I haven't seen. I'm trying to think of the last Pixar movie I've seen. Pretty sure it was Toy Story 3.
I would 100% rather watch all the Pixar movies than all the Marvel movies. I'll tell you that.
Oof. I don't know about that one.
100%.
I don't know about that one.
Dude, after the Infinity Saga, after that, it's like, why am I even doing
Dude,
this?
I'm still waiting for you to take the 64 hours and
then
watch
half of the one in the Infinity Saga are like okay, like Iron Man 3. Like we're gonna sit here for 2.5 hours.
Iron Man 3 was better than
hash this out.
than a lot of. I'll just
Then
tell you
what?
that. Than a lot of like all the Ant-Mans.
Yeah, exactly. Ant-Man's, Thor's.
I don't know. Thor is my favorite.
The first
one,
couple,
but, yeah,
first couple were
Ragnarok's
awful.
great. The
Not
first one
awful,
okay.
but it
The
was
second
like
one was
fine.
the second worst movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Dark World, awful.
second worst. Marvel
Ant-Man's
movie
terrible.
was
The first
Dark World.
Hulk doesn't even have the right guy in it. They forgot
they
who
forgot to
was
put
Hulk was.
Ruffalo in.
Yeah, I mean, what a blunder that was.
Some weird stand-in.
Wasn't available that day.
Yeah, he was taking a siesta. He was too busy filming the Avengers. He was like, all right, well, someone else can stand in.
That's
Let's watch this.
efficiency right there. Film 2 movies. Wow. Anyways, Shrek, Aladdin comes to mind immediately.
Yeah.
As just a fantastic Toy Story.
I was talking to one of my friends. They liked the live action of Aladdin.
That's not a valid opinion.
I completely
That's
agree.
actually not a valid
I
opinion.
listed out very quickly why Aladdin sucks.
I don't.
She kind of went back on it, but
Can you reiterate for the audience?
yeah,
just
you-
in case
you-
we have
you
anyone.
destroy Iago.
Yep.
The fact that you have
One of the
to-
greatest villains of all time.
You have to sure.
You don't think so?
Anti-hero, obviously.
Anti-hero?
Yeah, I would say.
Well, you
anti-hero.
have to watch the whole.
Yeah, you have to
arc.
see the arc, but
It is an arc.
yeah,
It is.
even in the
surprising.
first movie when he's just bad, he's still great.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I consider him a villain.
I think that the fact that you have to artificially speed up or slow down the dances just to get in line with the music is insane.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I haven't seen it.
Well, you should see it.
I
Just
should
to-
not.
How
You're gonna burn
how many
hours on that? Are you
I think
serious?
we have to start churning through some of these hours.
We're gonna have a
I'm done
miserable.
with. I am done with Justice League.
And?
So there is that. It's
favorite show of all
fine.
time? 10 out of 10?
Sorry, buddy.
No.
Sorry, buddy. Well, hold on. So Iago
Yeah.
is just gone.
Sure.
Abu is there, but again, he's a monkey.
He's like actually a monkey.
Actually a monkey.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yep.
So all the
It's almost
interactions
like-
are terrible.
Live action takes away all the
All the charm of
charm
what
and
that is.
magic of.
Jafar is like hot Jafar. So they're doing this thing where like all the villains are like
He was okay in the animated. He wasn't hot, but he had a little.
he was like old. Like the whole thing was like in this one, I could see like Jasmine could fall for Jafar.
Yeah.
Like in the cartoon,
I'm
it's
sure
like,
he's very hot in this.
Yeah,
I just
he's
I'm going to
smoke
bat.
show.
I'm going to bat for OG Jafar a little bit.
Aladdin doesn't get sent to Siberia at all. There's no giant snake at the end.
Siberia.
Yeah. Well, he gets like shot out. Like, you know how he gets
yeah.
trapped in like one of the towers
yeah.
and then knocked into like a
is
snowstorm,
good scene, yeah.
and then he walks.
That's one of
all
your
the way.
points.
I think that's a big deal. Like Jasmine
Really?
getting thrown into an hourglass.
Yeah.
And then having to get like rescued, and then like the big giant snake and turning into a genie and all of that stuff.
I get that. The
Yeah.
Siberia thing, I don't.
Instead,
Might not
Jasmine
be
just
super
sings
relevant.
a song about I don't
friendship?
know, like how hot Jafar is, and
Really?
then she saves the day.
Oh, she saves the day.
I don't think so, but she doesn't. She is not in any peril.
Yeah.
There was like a little
Sure.
tweak on that plot point.
Well, she does have like a tiger. You think like
I don't think does she have a tiger? Is
She has
Raja
to.
in the live action Chelsea?
has to
Okay, well
for like
fine.
maybe one
Fine,
second.
take the tiger out of it too, in terms of any type of charm or anything like that.
Well, the tiger didn't do much in the OG.
He had some funny bits.
The only one I remember was like Aladdin's picking her up for the date.
Yeah, and then
And
he
he's
says like, "Hey,
like, hey.
go on, take off all your clothes or something." Or good teenagers take off their clothes.
Not really.
You remember that in the Aladdin movie?
No.
Whenever he goes to pick her up in the
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah.
And this was like a big conspiracy theory.
Sure.
And the Raja, the tiger, is like growling at him and like pounces on him, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, he takes his hat off and starts like shooing him away.
Right.
And I forget what the line. Like the line was supposed to be like, "Go on, get out of here. Go on, take off and leave," or something like that.
Yeah.
But then if you like listen to the whispers or whatever in the Disney movie, it's like all good teenagers take off their clothes or something. So it was
What?
like this big like sexual thing. Same thing with like Little Mermaid. The little like Pope guy gets like a boner, and like you have Simba like dropping on like his stomach on like one of the cliffs, and then like all the breeze comes up and it spells out sex and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. You know, like
I remember
all of
that
those.
one.
And then we did talk about The Rescuers, where somebody actually spliced in boobies. And like as they're like flying by in one of the windows, there's just like a chick like flashing.
Yeah.
That is true. And I have the video for that one.
That's
which is
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway, that's a deep dive into the conspiracy.
There's Tyler's
What I'm
childhood
saying
right there.
is live action Aladdin sucks.
Absolutely.
Like it's terrible.
No, I agree. I mean, what? First of all, why? I mean, money, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then you go
Makes no
back and you
sense.
watch like Chelsea actually. So we watched the live action, and I think it was for like one of my birthdays or something, or maybe just out of the goodness of her heart. But then she goes and buys me like the 4K. Like here's the good Aladdin.
She's about to correct what you just said. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Looked like misread the face there.
but then we immediately watched that, and it was like, okay, this is perfect. Like the fact that you have to say, and I kind of sidestep this whole thing because it's like the fact that you have to say like Will Smith wasn't bad as the genie, but he was no Robin Williams. Like he did what he could do. It's like, look, if you have to say that, if you're like, well, no one's ever going to beat Robin Williams, why try? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I don't know. Because money, dude. They're trying
I
to,
guess.
dude. They're trying to literally run the gambit back of all the things. Like, hey, remember when you guys loved this, and then cash in on it because it's easy. It's already written for you.
I know. It just
Just like Marvel. Comic books are already written.
I guess that's true. Yeah, but
Let's just
Marvel's
cash it in.
even screwing that up. And then I will be interested to see kind of what the movies are going to be doing for Star Wars. Speaking of like Marvel and Disney and all that stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
just so there's too much. Actually, I was talking to the research department the other day, as I do.
Uh-huh.
And I think his theory is pretty good on this, where it's at this point, they are only catering, I guess, if you want to use that word, to people who are invested.
Yeah.
So, like, people like me who are on the outside are just left in the dust.
Yeah.
And they're really just focusing on people who have consumed the whole catalog of Star Wars, for example.
Yeah, but it's such a shame because like you are missing out on some like good stuff, but you have to weed it through
100%.
trash.
Yeah, 100%. But that's the marketing strategy.
Did you see? So you have not seen Kenobi, I assume, right?
No.
Well, now
My God.
you can watch a 2-hour fan cut of Kenobi where he basically just like redid it, like recut it.
Yeah,
it's a 2-hour movie. Everyone's like raving about it. Gets a call from Lucasfilms,
right?
And who's the director on Iron Man? Not Filoni. Dave Filoni's one of them. Like, but who played Happy Hogan? What was it? What was it, babe? Yeah, Pharaoh.
What?
John
Favreau.
Favreau. Thank you.
There we go.
Man,
that was a little
really
alley-oop
nice
there. I put it in
really
though.
nice
I got it in. Little baseball reference for you.
But they call him up and they're like, "Hey, let's get this on Disney Plus."
It was a basketball reference. I was
testing
you.
I immediately. You say layup?
I said it was a little alley-oop, but I put it in.
I could do an alley-oop.
And then I said, that's a baseball reference.
A basketball reference.
Really honing in to see if you would catch that little
dude,
trip
the
up.
You start talking
well,
about
you've been doing good on the sports talk.
It's
that's
basketball.
Why you like basketball.
No, I don't.
You're the home run hot dunks.
Yeah.
What do you think the hot dunks is?
Well, home run comes first. That's a baseball term.
You think that's a donut thing?
Home run, hot dunks, and then ace is my thing, which is a...
Do you think a dunk from a donut came before a dunk from a basketball?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Ancient Egyptians had donuts.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Do you want a cheeseburger that?
1,000%.
Are you serious?
Yes. You want to put 100 cheeseburgers on that?
I don't like this. I kind of do, though. I kind of do.
Oh.
You're fucking with me, man. I love the play, though. That's ballsy.
Buddy, this is what you call buying the pot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not whatever we're smoking, but the pot in the middle of 100 cheeseburgers.
I feel like the conversation we're having has gone far beyond marijuana.
I just think that anything worth talking about, you could contribute to the ancient Egyptians, and I feel like 90% of people will just believe you.
I didn't believe you, and I still don't.
Yeah.
Donuts were invented in the United States of America.
No.
Yeah, but maybe not.
No. Maybe Italy.
Italy?
If I had to pick one.
Are you serious?
If I had to pick where the first
that.
donut was created.
I'll say U.S.
Italy,
you say Italy,
and
if
get
it's
Italy
neither?
or France, and then you do U.S.?
Well, wait, you can't get two.
I'll do Italy, France, you get the field.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Done.
Where was the first donut created?
I think it was the U.S.
Well, I got to spell it correctly.
That's an important piece to this process here.
Because if you're spelling donut D-O-N-U-T instead of D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T-S.
Wait, what?
I don't know. Donuts are deep fried cakes with long European history and roots in still earlier Middle Eastern cuisine.
Okay.
They were introduced to America by the Dutch in New Netherlands to America as oliekoeken, or oil cakes or fried cakes. That's the history of the donuts. So I guess, just by default you win there, but...
Yeah, you shouldn't have gave me the field. We would have tied. I was about to give you a tie.
That's fine. I'll take a...
But I was going to say my second pick was the Netherlands, so you still would have lost.
That would have been, yeah.
That would have been good.
If you would have picked the Netherlands...
How good would that have been? There, I feel like
probably could have got
that's
a
a top
more
5 dessert country, right?
Netherlands?
Probably.
I don't know.
Aren't they known for stuff?
Maybe, isn't it?
I wanted to say chocolate, but I'm not 100% sure.
I thought the whole point of European stuff is they're not as sweet. They're a little bit more
They have amazing sweets.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
I thought they were they didn't like sweet stuff. Americans are all
our
about
sweet
the
stuff,
sugar and just blast your mouth out of your face.
Let's correct this. Our sweet stuff is not the same as their sweet stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, but it is sweet stuff. They have great desserts.
It's mildly sweet by our standards.
Honestly, one of the best desserts all time. Speaking of Italy,
yeah,
the cannoli.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler, this is why we're never going to make it to 100 episodes.
We're so
it's
close.
just things like this, man. You don't like cannolis, really?
Yeah, they're okay. I just
They're
haven't had one that's
fantastic.
oh my gosh, this is
you gotta have a
great
good one.
cannoli. Yeah.
See, cannolis are not like pizza, where a bad pizza is still eating pizza. Bad cannolis
even pizzas. I've been getting some bad ones recently.
You might be getting sick of pizza.
Chelsea and I were just talking about this. Like, I think we might have been. We skipped out on Thursday's BOGO pizza.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah. We're just like, it's been bad.
Hermani's
like, why would you do it?
was pretty bad. The other time we had it at D&D, it was so undercooked. I think the delivery is the problem. I think you got to pick it up.
Yeah. Well,
or go in.
You also have to say, like, I want this well done, but then you have to, like, talk to a waitress and be like, when I say well done, like, keep that sucker in there. Yeah. I think that just Thursday, they're going through so many pizzas.
100%.
They have to get them in and out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That I'd rather a burnt pizza than a.
It's insane to me though, because like we've been doing Zupas and getting like the Italian club, which is phenomenal.
Oh my god!
But that's like a $40 delivery.
What?
Yeah, it's because
how much is the sandwich?
$13 for the sandwich.
Yeah.
Or $13.99 for the sandwich. And I found out that cranberry and Wexford are actually a $3 difference. So it's like $17.
Whoa, wait.
In cranberry, and it's only $13 in Wexford. So if you were to go to Zupas and get the Wexford one, it's cheaper.
Everything's more expensive in cranberry.
But you have that. It's a $7 like delivery fee. So like, and then you have to do the tip for Uber.
Right.
It's insane.
That's disgusting.
$40.
Yep.
Or for $28, and this is including tip.
Yeah.
You get 2 large. You get 24 slices of pizza.
Or how about I give you this one? $30,
A
and you get Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah, right now I don't even know if that's going to go through Monday. But if you're listening to this, maybe check out the PlayStation.
You should remind me tonight to grab
Ghost
those
of,
two.
Tsushima and
Two.
It's T.
It is, but it's silent.
Yeah,
Tsushima.
and apparently it's not. Like, there's a PS5 version of that, but it's technically a PS4 game.
So
right?
it's $30 on the PlayStation Store.
I think so. It's
Okay.
a couple cents less.
Yeah.
So it's either Amazon or the digital version.
Well, I'm gonna get the digital version.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Sure.
Well, if you're a collector.
Yeah, but is that really what? I guess those are both.
I will
fairly
say,
decent.
dude, I was talking to someone about this. Sucker Punch made Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
And those are the guys who made Sly Cooper, bro.
Yeah.
I love that. I love following the career of a studio.
Yeah.
Because they started off as like so tiny.
All my favorite studios, I think, have closed down.
But here's the thing.
Or they're not.
Here's
like,
the thing you have to
same
look out
people.
for, though, as well, is sometimes you follow the trajectory of like a studio or a company or something.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's more important to follow individual contributors
Yeah.
because they might leave.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean?
Like, you're looking at Infinity War, and
Yeah.
Infinity War is still
Yep.
there, but the guys
Yep.
are long
Where are
gone.
they?
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need to have a big
They're
board,
doing Titanfall.
like a Always Sunny board,
Yeah.
where we connect the dots.
You just get all the big,
And then
big
with
wigs
that,
of the industry.
that's when we can predict when games are going to be good. Because
yeah.
I feel like we're not thinking about, okay, well, here's the studio. They always say the studio that brought you this and this and this. And it's like, okay, they didn't tell us the lead director's gone.
Right. Well, exactly.
Right?
But that's why, like, BioShock, dude's gone.
Yep.
You have, like, Cliffy B has been gone from Gears for forever and a
Exactly.
day.
Yeah. Although Gears is still doing well.
Rod Ferguson went in there, and he actually left, and now he is the one that finished out Diablo.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, it gets
Interesting.
some weird stuff. Kojima's obviously his own thing.
Yep.
And then you have the people that did COD 4 that are over and they just put out Jedi Survivor.
COD 4? Really?
That's what was his name? I think Mark, not Zuckerberg, but
Oh,
Is he-
it wasn't
I
Zuck.
think it's Mark. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but those two guys.
Interesting.
Which it might even be one guy now. I don't even remember. But
COD 4 was a
what are
good
we
game.
talking about? Yeah. In conclusion, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was a great game.
The more I think about it, I think it might be the greatest game ever made.
It's up there. Yeah.
It has to be in the conversation.
Do we want to talk about games?
Yeah,
I know we have two things to talk about.
We mentioned Diablo. I think it's a good transition.
That's good. Yeah.
Tyler has Diablo because he's a nerd.
I
bought the big
spent the
package.
Ultimates Deluxe. So I didn't realize that there was actually a middle tier.
Oh, that you could also get the game.
So I just dropped the hundo. But I get the season. I get the first season pass.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you like you buy those consistently or?
The season passes?
Yeah.
This is the first time a Diablo has a season pass.
Oh,
I don't know.
really?
Yeah.
What are the seasons that everyone always used to talk about?
Oh, those are just included. Like that's not like a season pass where you unlock things. That's just it's a new season of Diablo. You go through,
okay.
you do some new stuff with new mechanics and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Go all the way through, finish all the challenges, get a cosmetic at the end.
Yeah.
The season pass now is going to be like your normal battle pass, whatever.
People upset about that?
I don't know yet. I think it's too early to tell because it's not implemented yet. Like the season pass doesn't even start until mid to late July. Like they want everyone to play the campaign and finish the campaign up, which like I just started Act 3.
Out of 4?
Out of 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So they typically do 4 acts and then they'll do a DLC like expansion pack which is like the 5th act. Or at least that's what they did for Diablo 3. Who knows?
Okay.
But yeah, they want everyone to finish the campaign, and then once you finish the campaign, that's how you unlock like your mount, which then you have in perpetuity. Like you can just pull it out whenever. Same thing with like all your different like you have to go into like different dungeons and get like aspects, which then you can infuse your armors and different things like that. And I'm sure that the more I tell you all these things, your eyes will just glaze over.
You always say that, dude. I'm looking at you.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is like it's so hard to. As my cats are fighting. Okay.
And they're getting excited about Diablo as well.
It's one of those things like there are so many mechanics upon mechanics upon mechanics that make it really, really, really weird. But anyway, let's step back. So Diablo 4, there's essentially 2 games in one. You have your campaign, which is the main story and everything. And then once you beat the campaign, you have kind of this open world, games as a service, keep making your guy better and stronger and new armors and different things and like see how far you can get in the world and see how strong you can get, right?
Okay.
They have a PvP aspect if you want to go down that road. So like there's like, I haven't got here yet, but like there's like an area that you could just go into and anyone can kill anyone. So like, let's say you make a hardcore character. Guess what? Like your character will die. So like if you go into a PvP zone with a hardcore character, it's just like if you die, you're dead.
Right.
Like, you lose everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like you get this kind of like weird high risk, high reward stuff, which is crazy. But when it all boils down to it, it's literally just keep making your character stronger, better. And then like they'll have like challenge rifts and things like that. And the whole point of like the season pass, and this is why they're waiting a month to come out with it, is because they want you to be done with the campaign and then start doing the season pass with just like, hey, here's your open world, go around and do all these like little story missions and things like that. So
is it the same world as you play through the game? And then you just are kind of in that world after the game's over? Okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird because essentially everyone has their own world. So if you go through it, like, and this is different than D3. So Diablo 3, like when you go into like essentially what is the let's say post campaign. So we'll put campaign to the side. You go through, you play the campaign, cool. You're done with the campaign. You'll probably never touch the campaign again. There's no reason to go through it again.
Right.
And that gets you up to level 50. And then from 50 to 70, you're playing like the open world. So in Diablo 3, the open world is like essentially not new every time, but like you go into it and like the map is completely blank and you have to like go through it and just like you just run dungeons, or not dungeons, but like bounties and rifts and stuff. And you're just basically doing these same things over and over again. In Diablo 4, the world is the same. So you have to go and like basically paint all the map in. And every section of the map has like, hey, here's this many waypoints and this many, dungeons and this many whatevers. So you can like 100% the map. But then on top of that, every season they're adding more, storylines and extra missions and new mechanics and different things. So hopefully it keeps it fresh. But yeah, it's like it's the same map. So wherever you leave off in the campaign, like once you finish the campaign, you're not going to have the entire map like opened, but there's plenty more to explore, plenty more to do, things like that. Every dungeon has been like 25, 30 minutes, which is large.
Yeah.
But you would go, you do a dungeon, you get like a special ability, and then you can infuse that into your weapons and make yourself stronger and all that stuff. So like, I don't know. It's this gameplay loop of if you just want to watch the numbers go up, you're going to have a good time with it. I think the campaign so far has been good. I think the voice actress for Lilith, who's like not Diablo, she's like the big bad because Diablo, you killed him in the last game, so who even knows if he's in this one. But she is very good. Like, she is probably the best, like, female acted character I've seen in a game in a while for some reason. Like, she really, really does a good job. But the story's cool enough, super dark, super gory and gruesome and whatnot, because that was a criticism of D3, that is like, this isn't dark enough. We want to make it more satanic. So they were like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
So I think overall, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's an interesting choice to make it like it's always online, so you'll meet people out in the wastelands or whatever. I haven't run into any of those like MMO problems where like, oh, everyone's killing this one mob and then you have to wait for it to respawn so then you can do it. Like, there's nothing like that so far. Okay. Which is good.
But they can interact with like things you can interact with.
You can.
Right?
So there are like these world events, which are, I think it's almost like a too big of a title for it, because like they're typically like, kill everybody on the screen and you just do it and then you get a chest. Like,
right. It's like a Guild Wars thing, right?
It's a lot more like Guild Wars, where it's
Yeah.
like if anything of note or of meaning, you basically have your own instance. All the loot's instanced, so like any loot you see on the ground, you pick it up because it's just yours.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about any of that, which I love. Like if you had to share loot, forget it. I'm not doing that.
Can you party up with other people?
Yeah, you can party up with I think 4 people total.
So if you meet people out in the wilderness, you can just team up with them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, super easy. Like you have your emote wheels. Where
right.
you can emote and do different things. They do some really smart things with that. So like dungeons, if you go in a dungeon, you finish a dungeon. Now there's an emote that just like takes you right out to the dungeon, so you don't have to like run all the way back, which is nice. I think the transmog stuff is really, really good. So in Diablo 3, you can make your like any item you picked up. Suddenly you knew the item what it looked like, so you can make any item look like any other item. So you could always look however you want.
Right.
The cool thing with this one is you can set what your appearance is, but if you get a new piece of armor, that's fine. Your appearance stays. So like you get to like always look the way you want to look versus like all this like in Diablo 3, every time you got a new piece of armor, it was like this weird like, oh, now I look like janky until I get to town to then like transmog it. So
gotcha.
They did some smart things there. 2 notable kind of missing things is like there's no wings, which is kind of like you could just like a cosmetic thing you can put on your back. So we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen pets. Pets in Diablo 3 would pick up all the gold for you, so you'd have to run around and pick up gold.
Right.
Boy, does it suck picking up gold yourself. I'm assuming that once you finish the campaign, you'll get it, but we'll see.
So overall, pretty positive.
Anyway, yeah. Here's the thing: does it do anything drastically different than Diablo 3? No. Is it more of watch the numbers go up, grind, have some fun combat, like cool, like all the bosses were fun, like the mechanics are cool. It's a challenge. I'm playing a barbarian, so everything's very melee focused and stuff, and I finally got my rhythm down with that, and I'm starting to feel powerful.
There's 4 classes?
5. So barbarian, druid, sorcerer, hunt. I don't know, like demon hunter, whatever the demon hunter is, like a rogue or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it is only. And necromancer is the 5th one.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Oh, interesting.
I'm excited to play it with you.
Do you like the story?
Yeah, and I think that and this is why I want to play with you story wise. And I ruined. So I'm sure we talked about this on the air. I've ruined Diablo 3 for you. So
yeah.
It was one of those things where we started the story, you were dipping your toes into this wonderful world of watching the loot go up and, oh, this is a better dagger and this is cool and you can spend time doing all that and whatnot. And I was like, hey, man, don't worry about any of that. Let's just blow through it and let's get to the end game because that's the fun. But again, that was selfish of me because I got to do all of the campaign stuff beforehand and all that stuff. So I promise you I will not make that same mistake.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we will play it however you want to play it, and I want to be following you as you explore, if that makes sense.
Sure.
The beauty of this versus Diablo 3, and this is just me being selfish, is if I go into your game, I can either make a new character. So if you want me to make a new character, I'll make a new character. I already said that until you get a mount, I'm not using my mount. That's like one of the only rules that I would have is like I'm not gonna be that guy running like like my steed around you. Yeah. So I'll go at your pace. But the cool thing is like if I go into your game, it auto levels everything based off of whoever you're going into. So I'll be able to see my open map. But it's like, okay, if I want to do like a certain mission or something, it's locked to like your missions basically. So we would be playing like your game, but I would still get all the credit. I would still be getting loot drops that pertain to me and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm going backwards, where Diablo 3 wasn't quite like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So, no, that's cool.
So like, I wouldn't be powering leveling you or anything. Right. So like I couldn't even if I wanted to. So it'd be like, nope, we are experiencing at your pace. And then it's up to you if you want to like go through the main campaign, just mainline the campaign. If you want to do all the side missions in between, and then you have all the dungeons. I will say, and this is just me being somewhat efficient, because all those dungeons are like a half hour each, just about every dungeon, at least what we're seeing, like Kyle was kind of pointing it out, every dungeon has a side quest eventually to it. So if you do the dungeon first, that's completely fine. You get the aspect out of it and kind of clear the dungeon. But then if the side quest gets put on that dungeon, you still have to go back and then redo the dungeon versus doing both at the same time.
Yep.
So we found that unless you really want to do every dungeon twice, which is there's like hundreds, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Wow.
It's better just to wait for
that
like
quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every dungeon is for a specific character. So like, oh, we're doing a dungeon, but it's only for like sorcerers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fine. I'm a barbarian. I can still do the dungeon. It's just whatever I get out of that dungeon gets put in my like overall account collection, and then whenever I re-roll a sorcerer, I can use that.
Oh, I
for
see.
Them.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like every season you start a new character and just run through it and stuff like that. So like you're going to be playing every class eventually. It's just what do you want to play with eventually, So
cool. Yeah, I need to feel it out. I don't know how I want to play, but I think once I get in there, it'll come to me.
Yeah, and I think that you'll naturally enjoy certain things. Like I think a lot of the side quests are just, I don't know, like filler fluff, like whatever. But
yeah, see, like I don't know.
But if it's me and you going through them and we're like, oh, Johnny has to go find a dog or something, and like I feel like we would just be the dumb like, this is life or death. We have to go get Johnny's dog, whatever, and like really
are they
drill it down.
Are they named characters, or is it kind of insert yourself? You know what I'm saying?
Like, what do you mean?
Like the 5 characters they have, are they like named? Do they have backstories?
No, so they're pretty much you insert yourself, but they are voiced, which I think is huge.
Ah, interesting.
And you can pick male or female for all of them. So you have the voice actress or actor for each. Character.
Yeah, so there's 10.
So it's kind of it's splitting that difference between. It's not like I don't know. Geralt is, the barbarian going in there, or whatever.
Right.
But it does enough of the backstory of like it really sets up who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, that sort of thing. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So I will say, in kind of light of that, is it as good bringing your character in as maybe Diablo 3, where Diablo 3 you were like a Nephilim and everything? Maybe not, but
a what?
A Nephilim. I don't know why I just said that. So a Nephilim is you're basically a kid from like an angel and a demon.
Oh, okay.
And you have like powers.
Yeah.
So you're humans. So
little edgelord.
I know that I was supposed to send you a video of like the history and stuff.
Still waiting for that.
I can run it down real quick for you, and like it's like here's a 60-second thing.
Okay.
There was an angel named Anarius.
Okay.
And a demon named Lilith, and they hooked up.
Dibs.
That's the actress that I really like. I mean, she's very good.
All right. Anyways,
they hooked up.
Yeah.
They had a kid.
Yep.
Who's named Rathma, if that matters to you. And he was the first one, and they basically created Earth. It's called Sanctuary, but it's Earth, right?
Oh, okay, sure.
And they made all the humans, and all the humans are basically like half angel, half demon, super powerful.
Wait, descendants from this?
Yeah, like their kid. They just kept.
So it's just a
procreating
big tree.
and-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then Anarius, who's the angel, is like, oh, this could go poorly. Where like if they wanted to overthrow heaven, they could just do that, or if they
Yeah.
wanted to overthrow hell or whatever. And
Yeah.
they're like, so he's like, I need to maybe tone this down.
Sure.
So he goes into like the heart of the world or whatever, and basically changes it and saps all the human, or all like the Nephilim powers, or all the human power. I'm butchering this slightly, but you're getting the main gist.
No, I'm with you.
You're making all of these humans that were naturally like gods,
Yeah.
turn them into basically just us. Like we're just human, right? So it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what he did.
Right.
And he's like, we should just kill them all. These are abominations. This is a bad idea. We should have used protection. This is that sort of thing.
Yikes.
And Lilith is basically like, heck no, these are my kids. Like, we're gonna just destroy heaven now. So that's basically it. So she comes back and whatnot.
So they don't like each other anymore.
They don't like each other anymore. So
Okay.
she wants to do something. We don't know what she's doing because I don't want to ruin spoilers or anything. But Anarius kills his son Rathma. So like that's a point of contention
So,
where
yeah,
like,
it's
hey,
not
I
a good
murdered
one.
my firstborn, and
Dude, all
you know,
these
I wasn't super happy.
all these fables, man.
Yeah, right.
A lot of betrayal.
But that's basically it. So that's this game.
That's this game.
Yeah.
Who's Diablo then?
So Diablo, as far as we know, again,
Sure.
I don't know any spoilers, and I honestly don't know the answer to the question if he's even in this game.
Okay.
He died in
But
3.
then who was he? We don't know.
So Diablo was one of like there's Diablo and
He's
and
one of the
Baal,
kids.
and he like there's a bunch of evils, right?
Yeah.
So Diablo's like he's like terror, right? Then you have hatred, and who's I think Mephisto, who's the mother of Lilith, and all this stuff. It's like a whole demon family.
Wait,
tree.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. Hey.
You have all of these main evils,
Sure.
and eventually, if you get the essences of all the evils,
Yeah.
one of those evils can become the prime evil, which is what Diablo did. Is I am now the biggest, baddest evil guy, right?
Yeah.
And that's the first game.
Big bad.
The main character, the character you play as,
Yeah.
kills Diablo,
Spoilers.
traps him into a soul stone,
Okay.
and then says the only way to contain him is I'm just going to jam this stone into my forehead.
Not the power of friendship?
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Okay, a little curveball
power
for
of
me.
friendship.
Not
and this
enough.
Is a darker,
Okay. Jams
darker
into
term.
his face. Sure.
Jams into his face.
Yep.
So as far as everyone knows, Diablo is quote unquote dead or contained.
Contained.
And this guy is just tormented for the rest of his life as like this martyr.
Do you
think
think
about
Cl-
that as a kid,
Yeah.
right? Like you're playing Diablo
Sure.
and like you beat it,
Yeah.
and then it's just like you
Face
watch
jam.
this like first person. I just smash the
Yeah.
stone in my forehead.
Why forehead? Like, I feel like there's better,
Better places for it, yeah. I
like
don't know.
like a glute, right?
Yeah, just
You know what I
in
mean?
your butt.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
when you get a shot
Yeah.
in the glute, actually hurts quite a bit. But
I feel like he is just so like you're probably exhausted by the end of the game that he was just like, man, I don't know what to do, and he just jabs in his head.
that's a core place.
It's-
I mean, I don't know if
it's a
you
rough
know
thing.
this, but your head is
But then throughout Diablo 2 and the expansion and everything,
Yeah.
eventually that guy loses control.
who's that guy? Is that the?
That was the main character from the first game.
Oh, there's only one main character.
Well, that's who you play as.
Oh, so it could be
a
whatever
different
class. I
yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
But anyway, Diablo
He
blows him up, takes
could be a
control of
girl.
him.
Either way.
Could be,
Okay.
but that's
So-
interesting. So
Oh.
Diablo is like the bad guy. Actually, I don't even know if they're. I would have to check on that. I don't
Diablo
know if there
1,
were
if he could
female
be a girl?
characters and- yeah,
I don't know.
probably. But anyway, Diablo comes back in 2, takes over the guy, like the jammed thing in his head.
Face guy. Yep.
Defeat him again.
Boom.
Diablo goes away.
Yep. Oh, he comes out of the face guy, and then you just beat him again.
Yeah. Now the problem with that was they were like, "Hey, we need to contain him because if you just kill him,
Yeah.
it's like he just goes back to hell, reborn, comes back."
Oh,
So
he's
it's like-
Doomsday.
essentially.
No, actually,
Okay.
Well,
Doomsday?
kinda.
Yeah.
when you kill Doomsday, he gets reborn on his planet.
Is that true?
Yeah, and
Doomsday or
Doomsday.
Darkseid?
No, Doomsday.
Doomsday was created as a thing, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Wasn't he a Kryptonian?
I think so. But he's like immortal because like when
Okay.
you kill him, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this
All right.
until I'm not.
Okay.
Because
Well,
I'm pretty sure they put him in the Phantom Zone
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he's just going to keep reviving. And then he killed himself
Huh.
and then revived again, which was a big power move. But I think the thing with him is you can't kill him the same way twice. I'm totally
he
derailing
learns.
your
Yeah,
thing.
no,
so
that's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Anyways, continue.
Where was I? So Diablo comes back.
Yeah, you can't kill him. You got to contain him because he's Doomsday.
But then the angels kill him anyway.
Oh.
So then he
Bad move.
yeah, he's gone.
But he comes back.
Well, they contain him in this like they put him in like a soul stone type of thing.
Don't want to like harsh your mellow here.
Yeah.
But we're a little bit past 60 seconds.
No, I gave you the 60-second
Oh, I
Diablo
see.
4.
This is
Now
just a
this
little
is the
more-
longer
okay, yeah.
history behind it.
Well, I'm curious because
Well, you asked about Diablo, so I was like,
well,
okay,
it's
so
you know
so he
when
comes
your
back
when your name's in the title.
and then Diablo 3.
Yes.
You have Deckard Cain, who's
Yep.
this old guy, and his like
Big old.
Leah, who's his granddaughter, niece, cousin, whatever, like young girl.
Okay.
She looks for her mom. Her mom
Of
turns
course.
out to be evil,
That's not good.
and then takes Diablo and shoves it into Leah, and now Diablo's
In the face again?
no, not in the face, but
Okay.
she just like gets like corrupted and
In the glute?
and basically possessed.
Okay.
And then she
Not
goes
good.
and basically wages war on heaven.
Oh, which
Destroys
is what
heaven.
they wanted to avoid.
Yeah, you don't want that. Like you want.
Well,
the,
they don't want that.
It's a cool cutscene. Like
Is it?
basically, like you see Leah, who's like human.
Yep.
And like this big, I forget. It starts with a T, but some like
Tyrannosaurus.
Tyrannosaurus angel comes down
That
and is
sounds awesome.
like, "You can't fool me. I know that's you, Diablo." And basically like burns him.
Oh.
And like Leah is just she's
Melted.
gone. She's dead.
Oh.
And then a
He appears.
female-esque version of Diablo appears.
Oh.
Stabs him, smashes the gates of heaven,
Boom.
and then they all go into heaven and just start destroying things. Anyway, then
Yeah.
you kill Diablo. So that's,
Oh, so that's
the end of 3.
You go to heaven, kill
yeah.
him.
And then the expansion is Mathael, which is the like angel of death, basically.
Man, I really wish I had a
Comes in
whiteboard.
and does it.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to.
Dude, it's super cool, and I can
Connect
give
it.
you one, but it's like a 2-hour video of like here's all
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't
things. Like,
think I'm gonna watch that.
yeah. But here's the none of that, as far as I know,
Yeah.
none of that matters.
There might be a little clues though. Little-
Well, they'll pop up. You'll have different characters from like Diablo 2 and stuff pop
Yeah.
up, and they're like, oh, hey, you can make the correlation. But
Yeah.
this is 50 years after Diablo 3,
Oh. Uh-oh.
and now Lilith is like,
Mad.
yeah, she's like, hey, I want to
But heaven's
hell
gone.
hell back. Well, no, heaven was you saved heaven.
Oh, okay.
It's in
Rebuilding.
ruins and fire, but yeah, the angels
Well,
were
okay.
the angels get it back.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's Diablo. Look, that's also me just going on YouTube videos because like I don't really care too much about the lore of Diablo personally.
Yeah.
I think that
You're more of a Tekken guy, right?
yeah, more of a Tekken lore guy,
Right.
yeah, or Warcraft, yeah. But I think that we will have a good time. I think it's serviceable. I think the acting's very good. I think the story is intriguing enough that you'll enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you don't hate satanic stuff.
Well,
Yeah, so
young
we'll see.
Tyler, dude, that would have been a lot for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known what.
Maybe
to
that's
do.
why you like this game so much. It's like a little rebellious.
Maybe I like this game because it's telling me collectibles.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and where those are.
When
and
you
the
were
numbers keep
describing the
going up.
map, I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
right up his alley.
It's very Guild Warsy.
Guild Wars, one of my favorite MMO
Yeah.
experiences. I didn't have a lot of those, so. But granted, that was when we were just exploring the world.
Every icon. So like if you have a dungeon icon, you go
Yeah.
in, you do the dungeon,
Yeah.
and there's a nice little green check next to it, right on the icon. So you're
Yeah,
like,
I
I
like
know I
that.
did that one. The only
No
problem with
pets
that,
though, which is that's a minus for
there's
me.
got to be pets. Here's the
Somewhere.
thing.
Maybe we'll find 'em.
There's an online shop.
Sure.
You can buy skins and different things already.
Yeah.
There is zero chance that Blizzard isn't going to capitalize on pets.
Do I have to go through the Blizzard?
Client, yeah.
Fine. Uh
Yep.
oh.
You want to know how long it's been since you've been on?
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? The
I
last
assume that
game
was Call of Duty,
No.
right? What was the last game?
Diablo 3.
Diablo 3. It's been 2 years since we
It's
played.
2 years.
Jeez,
It's ruined my life. Uninstalled the Blizzard client after that.
That sucks. I'm sorry, buddy.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We live and learn.
You're Respawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 1, 2, 3 spawn.
I don't know. I went through a phase.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. You were asking me
Excited.
questions and stuff, but I forget what other questions before we started recording.
About what?
About Diablo.
No, I think you
Okay.
answered them. I
Did
was
I?
kind of
Okay.
asking how you felt about it,
Yeah.
and you went through it. I mean, like you said, I guess the summation is same formula.
Mhm.
just expanding upon it. And I think that's what you have to do with a game like this, right? Like if you just radically change it, that probably would not go over well.
It's a lot. You see a
with
lot
this fan
of
base.
like, oh, Path of Exile did this smartly.
Is
We
Path of
pulled it in.
Exile a similar comparison?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I kind of know. I never played it, but
I would say Path of Exile is like the second
Diablo
next
clone.
to
Yeah.
And what was the Ark? Something.
I don't know.
Ark.
I don't know. Wasn't Ark the dinosaur game?
That's ARK. There was like I don't know Heroes of
Heroes of the Ark?
or Ark of,
Yeah.
Ark of Heroes. I don't know. There was another
Arkham
one.
City?
Arkham City is a very good one too.
That's a great game. Probably better than Diablo 4.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, right now, absolutely. So here's the problem with Diablo
Sure.
is people that really get into Diablo, the campaign is not the draw.
Yeah.
That is 0 to 50. It is what it is. You move on. So I will have the campaign finished maybe this weekend.
It's like
Who
a
knows?
Warcraft thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like
If-
the
if you're-
grind is not the goal. The goal is the end game raids.
well, the grind is also
Dungeons.
part of it, but it's the
It's part of it, but it's not the fun.
post-campaign-
It's not the fun part.
Well, the grind is, but it's the post-campaign grind. It's not, oh, you have to follow the story.
yeah,
It's
right.
The entire map's open
Yeah.
to you. Do what you want.
Gotcha.
Keep fighting the big guys. Like Jeff and Nate already lost like 2-3 characters on hardcore mode.
Oh, they're playing hardcore.
They
mode?
were, yeah.
Yikes.
I was ribbing them a little bit last night, but I hopped in and I just hear Jeff like, Nate, get here right now, and then gets murdered because apparently there's a guy, the Butcher, who
Yeah.
was in Diablo 3, that's a
Right.
boss.
What's his
Now
name?
The Butcher.
He doesn't have a real name.
No, that's his name. He's just known as
Is
the
it like
Butcher.
Dave?
Dave the Butcher. Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say? I'm sorry.
You just said the butcher.
Oh well, Dave.
Oh, was that
the
implied?
Butcher? Yeah.
Gotcha.
Dave the Butcher meat hook, and he throws like meat hooks out. I mean, apparently in
Yeah.
this game he's pretty tough,
Okay.
but
Yeah, that gives me Divinity flashbacks because for some reason I'm
Dave
so
was
stubborn.
saying, he's like, I understand for join. It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah. For some reason, like I have to play on hardcore now.
The thing I don't understand
Okay.
is if the quote unquote real game is unlocked when you beat the campaign. So there is zero way to get a mount unless you go through the campaign storyline.
Can we play on easy?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, perfect.
That's the whole thing. Is I'm playing through from 0 to 50.
Yeah.
On it's not called easy. It's world tier 1, right? So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
the easy.
That's the easiest mode?
Baseline. Here you go.
Sure.
You do that. Get to 50. Finish the campaign. Unlock everything.
Yep.
Then bump up the because if you bump up the difficulty, you get better drops and different things,
Right.
and that's how you progressively scale.
Right.
But it's like just get through.
Get over the hump.
Yeah, because like once you do that, then play your hardcore character because then you have a mount, you have all this other stuff. You like it's a lot more fun versus just like beating your head against this thing. Imagine going because they got to level 30,
Right.
which I just hit 30.
Okay.
You're beating your head against this thing, you die, and you lose all your progress, your character, all your weapon, like just everything.
Right.
And you have to start all over, and you have to start all over to get your mount and all these other things, which is like the beginning of Act 4. So like you have to get pretty far in the game to get what you know. So I just
See, I don't get that. Like something like
to each his own, though. You know,
Divinity, though, the point is the game. There's nothing really after that.
exactly.
So,
Where this is not so much.
right. I like the hardcore because it's like stakes,
Yeah,
and I love stakes.
I will absolutely. I made hardcore characters in Diablo 3.
Yeah.
It's just that's not going to be my first one where
Right,
like you
right.
have to like you
I'm with
have
you.
to beat the campaign
Right.
before. Like for instance, you can't play the season pass and you can't do a season
Right.
until you beat the campaign.
No, I'm 100%. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I
So
would
it's
play
like-
on easy peasy
Yeah,
mode.
you have a month,
Yeah.
maybe 2. Like you have like a month and a half
Yeah.
to beat the campaign.
Right.
And then whenever they come out with a new season content and the battle pass and everything, then it's open to you can do whatever you want. Make
Gotcha.
a hardcore character. I think that it would be kind of cool to make 4 of us hardcore characters, and then eventually, whenever we're feeling real badass,
Yeah.
go into a PvP realm where it's just chaos.
Yeah.
And it's just see how you fare.
Wow,
you know?
PvP is probably where you lose me, but
Well, right, but what I'm saying is like if you really feel like you're doing well or
You're
you're doing
juicy.
good and stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean,
well, that's how you
Try
get
it out.
humbled, though.
well, so to a point, I don't know how the world tiers work with that. So like if you're in a hardcore PvP thing, but you're world tier 1, I would hope that if you go in a PvP realm, everybody's world tier 1, and maybe they're not doing as much damage. Maybe that's you got to see.
I don't know.
But
yeah, it's exciting, dude. I know that you have a great love for Diablo, and I want to share in that love.
It's the perfect.
So I'm ready to join you there.
It's a perfect podcast.
I'm curious. I mean, like thinking long about this one.
No, that's fine.
I don't know. It's not really. It doesn't sound like my type of game, but I'm going to give it the college.
Well, that's
try.
what I'm worried about. If it's not like, I don't want you going in being like, I'm really excited to play through the campaign, because I don't think the campaign is like
I got to temper my expectations.
15-20% of that game.
Right.
That's not where the.
But
the
you see, that's the
is.
problem, because my thing is usually like the campaign's everything for me.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
But that's the thing,
That's
is like
the rub.
if that's what you want,
Yeah.
we can draw it out. Like you're going to be doing all of the
I don't
want
want to draw it out
and stuff
because it's that. Like, here's the thing, Tyler. Like, there's a reason the campaign's not the real thing, because like it's probably not as well done as like, you know what I mean? Like the focus isn't there. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's bad or anything. I'm sure it's good. Well, but it's not going to be like I don't know, like a Horizon where it's like the campaign's everything.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying?
I will say it's more the side quests and everything are a little bit better, a little bit more than Diablo 3. Diablo 3, it was like, hey, go kill everything, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected, but it's like, you know, I mean, if Johnny asks us to save his dog, I'm in, but you know what I mean? I'm sure there's going to be some side quests that's like, okay, let's keep this moving. So we'll have to balance that out.
But the season pass, they said that it's going to focus more on story content.
Okay.
Which is new.
Sure.
Like that Diablo 3 was definitely not that way.
Right.
So if they can make good on that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to feel it out because I don't know what to expect right now. And it's not like I like completely hate these games. Like I remember there was like a game I played back in the day on PS2 that was like a top-down hack and slash.
Yeah.
That I loved.
Yeah.
Me and Nate played it. Champions of Norath, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
Love that game.
So I mean,
so it's like, dude, I could get into it, but I don't know.
Tons of loot. The loot's gonna get.
I don't know
bigger
what made that game special. Maybe I was just a kid. I liked it, but I think I got to find the right character, and I got to feel out how I want to play it.
That's gonna be big. So it just depends if you want to do melee or if you want to do ranged.
I don't know. I got to see them. Can you test their voices too? That's big for me.
You can't.
Maybe I'll go on YouTube, like kind of feel that out. That's a big one, dude. If I don't like the voice, if I don't vibe with that, I won't be able to do it.
I did the Barbarian. I love his
it.
voice. His voice is very good.
Yeah.
All the voice actors are.
I'm sure they're
good.
great. I'm sure they're great. But it's a vibe. It's not about, it's not necessarily all quality. It's connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. I just want to love what you love.
Likewise, buddy. Speaking of loving what you love.
Yeah, love.
Talk to me about this drama going on with League of Legends.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I sent Tyler a video. Did you watch that, by the way?
I did. I understood maybe 15% of it.
That's
not fair. It did a very good job explaining it.
I was going to say, I thought it was like it was like 6-minute video.
8.
Cheeseburger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Worst 8 minutes of my life. Anyways, so sent Tyler a video kind of explaining North America's League of Legends pro scene, the drama that's going on, which is just crazy. So, I mean, we've been speculating because it's been declining for years now.
Yeah, when is it going to die?
Stuff. Like, when's it going to die, right? Nothing lasts forever. And things just seem to be coming to a head right now. Like, just things are completely on fire. And this is really, I wanted to talk about it because it's really important to me because I've been playing and watching League for like, let's think like 2015. What is that? Like 8 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a long time, right? The better half of a decade. And I don't know. It's been a really important part of my life. So many hours into that game, so many hours watching it. So essentially, the TLDR, is that what that is?
Too long didn't read?
Yep. Of it is, it all started a couple years ago when they did franchising. So it used to be a relegation system. If anyone knows sports, it's like soccer in Europe, they do relegation.
Yeah.
So if you're like at the bottom, you can get kicked out of a league, and there's tiers, and then like the bottom tiers can move up those teams. And it was exciting and it was good. But the problem with that is you can't get big money in there because like investors are I was going to say skeptical, but I guess cautious, because if your team like has a really bad season and you go out of the main thing, there's like now the eyes aren't on you anymore, right? Because you're not in the main league.
Right.
So franchising, which is what we're used to in America, like football, all the teams are always going to exist. And all 32 teams of football every season are going to compete. They're going to exist. And that's why there's so much money behind it, because you know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are always going to be there.
Right.
Right? So they switched to franchising a couple years ago, and a ton of money got poured into the league. And
Now, so just so I was understanding it,
yeah.
they switched to franchising.
Yep.
10 teams,
Yes.
$10 million each buy-in.
Yep.
So Riot made $100 million.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, continue.
Yeah, it was a ton of money. And
Yeah.
like the player salaries were crazy, millions of dollars.
I just wanted to prove that I was watching the video, but go on.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
So anyways, they did that, and things were actually going pretty well for a while. But as they explains it in the video, and for anyone listening, you should just watch the video. He does a really good job of kind of summarizing this whole thing. Travis Gafford is the
I was going
dude's
to say,
name.
maybe I can put a link to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, things are going well. The problem is that, I mean, there's a whole host of problems in North America, but essentially what was happening is a lot of imports were coming in. So
Like tees and cloth and things like that.
what?
Imports.
Oh yeah, tees, cloth, yeah. Anyways, player imports, like specifically from Europe and like Korea, because those are like better regions. So they were pretty much just buying talent. There wasn't a lot of North America talent.
Like, why is that? Why is I can understand maybe like Korea and stuff like that because they're just a different level altogether.
Right.
But like, so Europeans are just better at league than
Yeah,
Americans?
it seems
Like,
that way.
why?
I don't 100% know. I just think there's more of a player base in Europe. So you're just going to get higher quality players coming out of that system. I think there's more competition in the United States or North America in general, just because there's more games. Like, I don't know, like, you know, Call of Duty is always going to take some of your audience, you know, other competitive games are gonna kind of split that up, right?
So
You know
it's
what I mean?
less about the person's ability, so to speak. It's more about the competition you have in the United States is not nearly the competition that's in Europe, which means that naturally you could be the best in America, but because you don't have great opponents, you're never going to get beyond kind of like what that.
Yeah, I think that's a
ceiling is?
factor. I mean, there's not like one specific reason that you know,
Yeah.
people try to figure out why is there a disparity, and there's like
Yeah.
all these theories on it. Nothing's concrete, but that's kind of one of the things. Is like the player base is lower. You're not going to have the pool of people that you're going to have in other regions, and yeah, it's just I think it's more popular. Like in Korea, for example, it's like super popular.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people aspire to do that. Where in the U.S. you have, you know,
Still kind of like taboo.
traditional
Yeah.
sports is
Yeah,
like
you're not
going to be
very good.
way more popular than League
Yeah,
of Legends,
I got
right?
you.
So,
Yeah.
you know, even more pool of people that are drawn away from that. So, anyways, the drama is revolving around. So when they did franchising, they did like a minor league team. So if you think about baseball, it's like AAA, for example. So every team had a minor league team to help foster that kind of talent and bring them up.
So that's the thing. You have, hey, I'm going to pay you $10 million. You say, great. You get a team
Yep.
within the North American League.
Sure.
But you also need a kiddie team.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the stipulation, right?
Yeah,
And
you had
like
to
the
do both.
thing for that is like just like in baseball, because baseball is a really good example of this, where they have a minor league team. Something like football doesn't. Hockey does too. Like they have minor league teams. You foster like young talent up through your system, your organization, right? And then if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, you sell them away because you are allergic to winning.
Right.
Sorry. Anyways. So what happened recently was, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you just watched it, so it's
Sure.
probably fresh in your head. So what happened recently was the organizations didn't want to, they're paying too much for these minor league teams.
The
That they
Big Seven.
What?
Big Seven. 7 of the 10 organizations.
Yes, exactly. They didn't want to pay for their minor league team. They're like, we're just wasting money on this. Like the people in these teams are not moving up because we're just importing the best players from other regions.
Yeah.
So why are we, wasting money on this?
Right.
So they got together and they're like, we don't want to do this. So Riot eliminated that requirement, and that's a lot of jobs that people just lose. So people were really upset in the scene, and then the players themselves, they have like an association. We're like, dude, we're not playing. This is ridiculous. Like that's huge part of the ecosystem. So
the quote unquote Premier League players,
yeah,
were saying, hey, that's not cool that you killed all the rookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're refusing to play.
Right.
Riot responded with like, hey, season was supposed to start yesterday.
June 1st, yeah.
And they're like, your top players don't want to play, but you got to field a team or else we're going to fine you and we're going to give you forfeits.
Yep.
And everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, that's insane.
Yep.
They went even so far as to like, so you have to be like challenger, I think, to compete in the, like you have to be one of the best, like obviously. Maybe it's not quite challenger, but it's up there. And they're like, nixed that requirement.
Yeah,
like,
so
anyone can do it now.
So the way I understand it is essentially all the players went on strike.
Yes.
Right?
They're not a union, but yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
They did a walkout or whatever.
So then the teams were like, well, we have to get somebody
yeah,
on
you're gonna get
playing the
fined.
game.
Yeah.
But all their good players weren't. They
Yep.
were trying to go to the rookies that they already had fired
They're
to
like,
try to
"Fuck
get them
you."
over. And and the rookies are like, no, like we're not going to,
And then they started trying to go to colleges and stuff, and the colleges was like, no, dude, we're like not going to betray our buddies.
And,
our,
and then at that point, it's like, well, then, and hey, John Perez.
John XP 1290 about to be on stage, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Would you do it?
No.
No?
No.
And is that because you don't think you could hang, or just out of solidarity with the rest
Out
of
of
the player
solidarity.
base? Really?
Like, I respect them too much. It's like, that's ridiculous what
No,
they're doing
if
to
anyone
them.
wants to talk to good old Sir Wolfengar.
Sir Wolfengar, that would be the funniest shit.
Oh man, that'd be
It would be hard for
Fun
me to
to
say
watch,
no,
yeah.
and like maybe it would feel differently if they actually offered me.
Right, yeah.
But I just think it's wrong what they're doing.
That's wild. It's like
crazy.
that somebody's trying to build a skyscraper and like all their engineers and everything went on strike. So then they're just like, okay, look, anyone in this city can come and just build this thing for us.
A little different because this is entertainment and not people's lives. But I 100% agree. Like, how ridiculous is that statement?
So I guess the other thing is it was supposed to be June 1st. They pushed it 2 weeks, which means
so
it's next week.
There was a lot of pushback, and essentially Riot was like, okay.
Let's put a pin in this.
Let's put a pin in this. 2 weeks. There was a list of demands that the players had, right? Mm-hmm. So Riot said, okay, we're pushing it 2 weeks. We're going to respond. They essentially said no to all the demands.
Yeah, they're like, this is not feasible.
But we're going to do, it was like a little bit of a compromise.
Do you know what the list was?
I don't know the specifics,
okay.
But it was essentially like, hey, we need $300,000 per team.
Okay.
We need first of all, we need the academy teams, which is the minor league teams, and then it's like we need funding for them. We want like a specific system for development and growth.
But
this
it's
and that.
Crazy, right? Like it's weird that they're doing this to Riot.
Yeah,
not to, but like they're complaining to Riot, but then the leagues were the ones that said, hey, we don't want to do this. This is a waste of money.
Right.
So like, why is that Riot's response? Like, I know Riot can just reenact that, but now won't leagues just be like, okay, forget it, it's not worth it or something like that?
So that was a question. I think he mentioned this in the video
maybe
briefly, but he was essentially like, it's easier to go to the source, which is Riot, who ultimately makes the decisions, right? Like Riot could have stood firm and said, no, you have to run the minor league team. Now the problem you run into is you start getting people up, well, I'm just selling my spot. So we're at the point here. The problem it really comes down to is if everyone was making money, this wouldn't be an issue. So the real crux of the issue is they're just not making enough money.
Yeah.
I think the problem is they tried to grow too fast too quickly, and they should have kept the relegation system. Like hindsight 2020, of course, but like, I just think like it just wasn't sustainable. Like the amount of money they were getting, and it's like, you compare it to something like football, it's different because in football, you have these broadcast deals that you get, with these major networks, which is just so much money getting pumped into the league that you don't get because, it's streamed on Twitch and YouTube, which is completely free. you get sponsorships and stuff, you get commercials, but that's not even close to the same amount of revenue you're going to get from like a major network. So,
and these esports teams, like these 10, is that across like other games? Like I understand that some teams will play multiple games, but like the 10 from League of Legends doesn't necessarily mean it's the same for Call of Duty and different things like that. Right?
Yeah, you do see some crossover. For sure, because these organizations, like you have an esports organization, and then you kind of field whatever game you want to play.
But essentially, each game could be like its own. Like League of Legends is football, and something else is hockey.
Yeah. And I guess there's more of a connection there. Yeah, like the Steelers and Penguins would be kind of owned by the Pittsburgh org. But yeah. So, anyways, they're going to be talking for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And the big thing here is if they don't reach an agreement, the season's canceled for North America.
Yeah, I love how Riot's like, okay, we'll just take our ball and go home then.
Well, they're just, to me, it's like a threat. Like, hey, we're going
to figure it out. Yeah.
So you know how half the people lost their jobs? It's about to be 100%, bitch. And it's like, it's just a mess. So it's really troublesome for people like me who enjoy North America League of Legends.
Well, that's your spot at Worlds, right? Yep. So, like, that's the thing is if you, and I'm talking like I even know what I'm talking about, but, like, not that maybe North America is going to be, like, number one at Worlds, but, like, you lose all your chances.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just...
Yeah, it's like if the U.S. wasn't able to compete at the Olympics or something,
Yeah,
right?
like, I would assume that the tuning into the Olympics is going to be drastically lower if your country isn't there.
Yeah, right. It will be lower, I'm sure, but like I said, North America is not the biggest audience. I don't think. It's a little
different with esports.
But I think, I don't know. Every year, Worlds is watched a lot. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. We'll see. I hope they come to an agreement, but it's a mess. It's a total disaster. I don't know how they're going to reach an agreement. It seems like Riot's standing pretty firm on, like, we're not doing this. And then the players
they got bullied out of, I don't know about bullied, but like, like they got bullied out of the rookie league or the, what do they call it? The
Academy.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they're just like taking a look at everything. And they're like, no, like we're freaking Riot. Like,
well, they're saying like, oh, we want to cultivate growth. We want to do this and that, but it's like unclear how they're going to do that. I mean, like you have collegiate scenes, but
it's never going to be,
I don't know,
as widely accepted as quote unquote real sports.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. Like I don't care if you're on ESPN, I don't care if like it doesn't matter.
They try.
It's just not because you can't understand it.
I guess, but like football is not easy to understand.
To an extent. Like I feel like it's easy enough to understand when it's like I throw a ball, this guy catches it, he hits it this end of the field. Like all the,
I guess.
the overarching thing, like I think the way to cultivate it would be like you need everyone in grade school, like starting like now.
And that's what happens in Korea.
Well, exactly. Right. But that's the only way to change it. And then you would have to know that like 30 years of this and eventually all the oldies will get like die off. And now we have people that are readily accepted.
Well, yeah. I mean, Korea is like, I don't even know what it is. It's just ingrained in the culture that video games are just, because like StarCraft was like their national sport or something, right?
Yeah. But that's the thing is like, you can't like, you would need something. And like League of Legends is probably doing this right. Because like you can't do a League of Legends 2. It's not, you're not going to have hockey 2 or football 2. It's like you need to continuously grow it. And it's just like, you have to have something so solid and so perfect of a sport that it's not like all these constant rule changes and rebalancings and like, oh, now the items are completely different or now they do that. Like, that just adds like just more and more and more like confusion for the people watching it. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, we want our player base to really enjoy it and really want to play it and all this stuff and keep engaged and entertained and things while we're retooling every champ and have the audience care and growth there. Like you're fighting against each other.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of factors to it. I mean, when you're talking about video games though, you need that constant updating or else people are not going to play your game. I mean, that's just how
that's the thing though. Like you can't, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But then you can't have it both ways. You can't expect because like I could watch football when I was a kid, never watch football and then rewatch it whenever I'm like 50. Like, I
Yeah,
can stop
yeah.
watching football now.
Right.
And in 20 years, start watching again.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I'd be okay. But
No,
with,
you're right,
with
right.
League of Legends, it's like you stop watching for 10 years, the past 8 years, and then
Yeah.
you watch it again. You're like, oh, there's 1,000 new champions that I don't know
Yeah.
about, or I don't know the rules.
Yeah,
of
but
this or
I think
whatever.
the fundamentals stay the same map. It's the same concept
Maybe.
where you're trying to kill the nexus. I mean, like the goals. But I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, football's not going to change drastically. I know they make small changes every year, but yeah, I mean, but that's the difference between real life and video games. I mean, it's just fundamental.
100%, but that's why you aren't going to get the same level of involvement
Yeah,
culturally,
100%.
that you do with the sports.
You can wrap your head around athletics, and it's just been around longer,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. Like baseball's been around for over 100 years.
I mean, even look at like Fortnite, where like every kid is loving Fortnite and playing Fortnite, and eventually it's just like either you outgrow it or they have to constantly be changing it and doing different things. And it's
but
like
that's
it just
the
gets,
landscape
like,
of video games.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess what you're saying is that it's always destined to like.
What I'm saying is you need a video game that stays quote unquote pure and just like this is a very simple game to understand.
Like CSGO.
And that's it, yeah.
But
CSGO is a perfect example of that, yeah.
But the watch experience of CSGO is so much worse than League of Legends.
Yeah, and it all depends on like the shot callers and stuff.
Right, and because it comes down to, I mean, I've talked about this. First person games are just not an enjoyable way to experience like a competitive game. It's possible, and people do, and people love it. But the fact that you have a game where the same exact camera angle you play is how you watch is huge.
Yeah.
Can't be understated. So
I think you also need something that, like, if you look at sports and you look at the breaks, so like football, you play a down or play 4 downs, and then there's like a little intermission or whatever like that, and like people can like between each play they can like, oh, I think they should do this. You don't get that in games. Games are just constant.
That's why I love. Well, I don't think that's a great example because you have something like hockey that's also constant. It does have more breaks than League of Legends.
I was going to say there's still breaks there,
but there's downtime in League of Legends, definitely, where you can have that commentary.
Yeah,
like,
I guess that's
like if
true.
you kill a big team fight, and then someone wins the fight, they go get Baron,
That's
and
fair.
then they
Yeah, that's a
recall.
good
You
point.
have a good minute.
I was thinking more on like the CS:GO side, but even CS:GO, like
well,
you still have rounds
between
and
rounds,
things.
absolutely, yeah.
that's
So
point.
there's breaks. There's definitely great commentary to be had there, and I think that's where a lot of it comes into as well, where you need a really good caster to break down kind of what's going on and help someone who maybe isn't as engrossed in it. But you need a baseline understanding because they're not going to be like, here's a minion and
right.
right. So yeah, I don't know. It's not sustainable, right? No game's going to be sustainable. It's going to end sometime. It looks like it'll end here first before it ends in Europe or Korea or China.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, but I'm hoping they can reach an agreement. And
What do you think that would look like? Like, what would the agreement be at that point?
I actually have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in it, if I'm being totally honest, because
so when it boils down,
it depends
like,
who's
going to
cave.
Enough people?
Who's going to cave, and Riot's not going to cave. So it's going to come down to the players. Are they going to just kind of accept their fate?
Yeah.
And I
wonder if Riot could just open it up and facilitate a tournament on their end.
Yeah, I think, like I
Just,
said,
like,
I
just, like,
think the
public.
franchising was the nail in the coffin, and we didn't see it at the time. But now I think you have to rethink how to make video games in a competitive sense economically viable. And the tournament structure seems to be the route that kind of is better for that, rather than trying to mimic traditional sports. It just doesn't seem like I personally like the traditional sports structure better, because to me, like old school league or like, I don't know, fighting games, for example, is a good one where it's like there's no there are circuits for fighting games, but it's more tournament. Like, here are the tournaments. Evo's like a big one, right? But there's not like a season that you follow and then a championship. It's more, okay, you're coming to this tournament, you're coming to that tournament. More like tennis, right?
Yeah.
Or golf. Tennis and golf are good examples of this, where you have that kind of structure of
That's a good point. Yeah.
yearly tournaments and stuff. But again, in golf, you have the Masters. That's humongous. You have the U.S. Open. So you have these kind of big pivotal things, which I think you have then in fighting
the
games.
worlds of everything.
Yeah,
Like you have like the
yeah.
Super Bowl of whatever.
But I like the football, hockey, baseball structure. Here's your regular season. Here's the playoffs. Here's the championship. I personally like that better. Some people are different.
But that's what they have currently, right?
That's what they're doing for league.
Yeah.
But something like fighting games, like Street Fighter 6 competitive, will be tournaments hosted throughout the year.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the route you have to go in terms of I don't know. It's tough to say. That's how leagues started, right?
Yeah.
You had tournaments, and then they created the league itself.
I
with
didn't
the
even know there
relegation
were
system.
seasons. Like that's
Yeah.
intriguing me because like I'm with you. I think that just naturally I like that. I just in my mind it's like, oh, that makes more sense to me. If you pick your one of 10 teams that you enjoy,
Right.
follow their season, cheer them on, do whatever, and I can equate that to like a sports team and like
I will say also the problem is when it comes to sports teams. For example, I am a fan of all the New York teams. My father was born there.
yeah.
I love the city itself, so I kind of gravitated towards that when I was young, and now I'm a fan of like all the New York sports teams, and that's a location based.
Yeah.
Like if you're from Pittsburgh, you're probably going to root for the Steelers, Penguins, etc. You don't get that.
Where are most of the teams from?
Well, that's the problem. In league, they're
Just all over.
all
just
LA.
everywhere. Yeah.
No, it just
Oh,
takes
it's
place in
all-
LA.
Okay, I got you.
And they don't have their team. It's just organizations, right?
Yeah,
So
just
you get
corporate.
this problem where it's like the top 5 teams, everyone has all the fan base, and then the teams that suck have no fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tough because it's like even if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, which are terrible year in and year out.
Still got people rooting for you.
Yeah, because you're loyal to your city. If you have a location-based team, you're going to get that buy-in just because you're from there.
yeah.
So they try to do this in Call of Duty where they have like city names for teams, but I feel like it doesn't work as well because
Why?
in Call of Duty, at least you have tournaments you're going to. It's
Yeah.
not like you're going to travel to Houston to play the Rockets or whatever. I don't know what the
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Call of Duty
you're gonna go
teams
to a
are.
tournament. But
You're going
but
to
you
a
need to start
tournament
somewhere, right?
localized.
Like I could see if it's like, okay, you're going to a tournament. This tournament's in LA, but everybody from across the country is coming and doing it. And eventually I could see where it'd be like, like you're.
But that's so expensive.
Yeah, but you're paying $10 million to be part of the freaking league anyway, man. Like you got to get that somewhere.
I guess. I just think, I don't know. It's tough because it's like if you are going to have a city name behind your team, you have to be located in that city, in my opinion.
I'll solve this for you right now.
Okay.
How many people are on a Call of Duty team?
5?
5?
I think.
Okay, fine.
Well, probably a
like 10,
sub or
whatever. But
less than that, but sure.
But
Okay,
let's
10.
say you have 10.
Sure.
Coaches, all that stuff. 10
Oh,
people.
sure. Okay.
Follow the NFL's schedule. And they just
just
go with
Yeah.
the players, give them $1,000.
But the problem is you don't have 32 teams.
But what I'm saying is get the 32 team. Like if you have
I
if you have
see
an
what you're saying.
NFL
Yeah.
team, you have a Call of Duty team,
Well, here's the problem
and
with
then
that.
just literally
If
follow
you-
the same schedule.
If you have 10 teams for league and the bottom 3 are just trash
Yeah.
and don't have a chance, imagine what the 32nd team is going to look like. It's going to be me on that team.
Yeah.
Like, do you have enough people?
But how cool would it be if I have the black and gold T-shirt?
Yeah.
I got Perez on my back.
Just swoop in with them.
That'd be, like,
Do you imagine
what have you got to lose, man?
sitting next to Kenny Pickett?
Just hang out.
I'm the mid laner for
Look,
the Pittsburgh Knights.
nothing is going to get you closer to to
just
sports
piggyback.
status,
Yeah.
and is just like, oh, we see this team literally right next to the football players, and it's like, oh, okay, can equate that.
Yeah.
Play after or right before. I mean, you're the opening act to the football games, or right after them, or
I
whatever.
think you'd have a better chance of like having like a Rainbow Six team
Sure,
or a
yeah.
Call of Duty team because
Yeah.
I just think like people who watch football probably going to gravitate more towards the shooters or like something like that
Yeah.
rather than like league. League is like you're a nerd and that's kind of what I'm saying.
It's
But like people who play like Siege, it's like mainstream people.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, you need that kind of boost.
Well, that's what I was. I don't know. I mean, it's never going to happen.
It's an
but that should
interesting
be-
idea,
that should be
though.
it.
That would be cool.
I would buy before I bought like a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey or whatever. I would, if I could actually hang my hat on I think that's a perfect point that you made, where it's like if I could be like a black and gold, like this is my esport team of Pittsburgh.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I do like that idea.
I don't care about phase or whatever the other 10 are. You know what I mean? Like, is phase even one of them?
It is.
Yeah,
but
like, I don't
it
care.
would be like the Pittsburgh phase or whatever.
Yeah, if it's only Pittsburgh and they had to live in Pittsburgh,
right?
Like, I don't want like, oh, everyone actually is in the California, but it's just a Pittsburgh branded team.
Right,
that doesn't cut it.
Exactly.
They have to live in the,
city.
Care about
I like
the city.
that.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, we could save it.
We can save it. I just don't think like the NFL teams would give a
So
fuck.
I mean, do we really only have a week now? So this comes out on Monday. Do they only have a week, or they have 2 weeks from?
2 weeks from yesterday.
2 weeks from the first. Okay.
Yeah, so not next week, but the
All
week
right.
prior, or not prior. After.
So we'll be talking about this soon. Then
Yeah,
get Jeffy Boy on here and talk about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the.
I know Jeff's super in the league, obviously. I don't know how much he watches the competitive scene, but yeah, I don't know. It's been really brutal because we talked about Bjergsen retiring, which is a big hit, and then this. So it looks like it's coming to an end.
Their research department, like competitive, I assume, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
on-
big time.
Maybe,
Yep.
maybe bring him on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm curious what his
Or
thoughts.
research department and Jeff, and then I just sit there like a.
That would be hilarious.
I don't know.
No, I think you have a lot of great thoughts about it. You just saved it with your idea, so.
Yeah, you're welcome, Rat.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see.
Sweet.
Yeah,
It's good.
that is good.
Good episode.
Yeah, I'm so sad.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I don't want it. It's
Yeah.
like 8 years, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Something's got to come up, right? Like something's got to. I guess not. Maybe not. Like with
My
if you
hope
look at
is like
StarCraft.
Arcane did really well.
Yeah.
My hope is that it lives on maybe through other mediums, but it might be coming to a close here. So we'll see.
What's the prize for like the season? Like you do the season.
The-
Like, what do you win? Or is it
The
like
prize
literally just to
isn't
get
a
to-
lot because you have a contract. It's like traditional sports. Like you have a salary. Yeah.
Okay.
So, whereas like in fighting games, that's the rub of it. You have to win.
But
to really make a lot of
is
money.
there like a so if it's maybe I'm too into football, but is there like a division championship before going to like Worlds?
No, well, it's by regions. I guess is the only way to kind of
Okay.
do that. So you have like North America, you have Europe's a region, China,
okay, so you have,
Korea.
like,
Those are the
regionals
four
and then
main
worlds.
regions.
Okay.
I guess you could kind of think about that as divisions and like grand scheme of things.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like you have those 10 teams. They're playing a full season.
Yep.
They're only playing against themselves.
right.
Right.
And then they go to Worlds, which is unlike
But who goes to World? Like all 10 teams just go to
no,
Worlds?
top like 3 teams.
Okay, that's
or
what
whatever.
I got you.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what you're playing for within your season is just being the highest record within your season, so you could go to Worlds and be
Yeah,
one
you
of the
obviously
top.
want to win your, season and championship at home.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing where it's unique from like other sports because you have a championship from the season you played, but then you go on to this like world tournament.
Yeah, where it's just completely
Yeah, which is super cool. I love that format.
Yeah.
And you get to compete against the world. So kind of unlike anything else, really.
like soccer has that, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Worlds is every year.
What?
Like the world, like Worlds is every single year. It's not like every 4 years, right? It's not like the
Annual.
World Cup or
Yep.
something. Yeah,
Yep,
Okay.
annual. Yep. So, yeah,
Sweet.
we'll see. I don't know, man. I've just been playing a lot of Balloon Tower Defense.
Yeah,
Actually, I was rage queuing last night with League of Legends. It was so bad.
yeah.
Kept losing, so I just was playing until like 2 a.m.
Sorry, buddy.
Dude, if you get into the rage queue, it's not a good time.
I don't think any of it's a good time personally, but I can understand.
The problem is like you start losing and you're like, dude, I suck.
Yeah,
And you're about to go to bed and you're like, no.
I'm better than
I'm not
this.
old. I'm
Yeah.
not too old for this.
Yeah.
I still have it.
Yep,
And you keep playing. Luckily, I did win a couple. So
that's good.
usually what happens is you lose like 6 in a row. It's 4 a.m. and you're like, okay, I do suck.
Yeah,
And then you go to bed and you cry yourself to sleep. But we brought it back a little bit.
Remind me to tell you something very dark off air so we
Okay.
don't get canceled. But
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, but I've been playing Blue Entire Defense because that might be the greatest game ever made.
It's very fun. We finally got past our hump. We're moving on.
Town Center.
Yeah.
Wow, what a tough map.
That was a very tough map.
That was a toughie. But we learned the Ice Monkey is so overpowered
Yeah. We never used them.
for round 63. And then what else did we discover? A door is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We discovered the tower, I don't know, tree tower. What is it? The
Tree stump?
no, not the tree stump. What's the monkey tower? Like the village, monkey village, is pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Monkey Village with like all the primaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did just rocket
If no one's
spam.
ever done Balloon Tower Defense, they have no idea what we're talking about. But it's a very fun game. You should play it.
No, it's so good. It's like $3.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think
So
it's-
much
I think
content.
it's 14 full price.
It's like always on
But
sale, though.
yeah, it's always on sale.
So that's what I've been doing. I don't know, man.
They need a new one. Unreal 5. Just put it in.
They're not going to do that. I think they are working on the next one, though. They just came out with a patch for it.
Oh yeah,
I was going to send you the video.
I'd play that.
They came out with the Wizard Monkey Paragon.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's sick. It's just a combination of all three.
That's kind of cool.
You have like a phoenix going. You have the undead balloons,
Yeah.
and you just destroy it. It's like he's so overpowered.
Okay,
Yeah, it's cool.
play that.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
That's it. Diablo and League of Legends. Two biggies.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Yeah. I mean, next week I played a typing RTS.
What?
Yeah, it's like if
Okay.
you play RTS but you don't use your mouse, you just type words to move around the map
Sounds awful.
and tell. Yeah, it's fun if you're
Sounds
into
like
keyboards and you want to
too
just a
much-
game that does typing.
Least favorite things in the whole world.
Yeah, and then I tell you it's like it's puzzle based.
Yeah. It's a puzzle. And it's also an MMO. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. If you made it this far, check us out on couchcompany.games, at couchcogames on Twitter, and we will probably be seeing you next week.
Yeah,
Definitely. Same time, same place. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.